friends, welcome back to another episode of The Mind of Reese. Today's a great day. Just feeling a vibe today. Just feeling like, this morning I kind of felt like a little in the wobble, and then all of a sudden I brought it back, changed my state of being, and just fucking went for it, and just got like little. I got really like I don't rawr. I got into that like tenacious, like, ooh, sexy, I'm going to flirt with the internet mode, and I'm going to invite people into my spaces and just see how that works. And it's just like, of course, whenever you change your state of being, changing your energy literally changes the strategy. So I changed my energy. All of a sudden I was like the strategy went well, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to do this. Fuck it mode. We're going to do this. And we switched so many things up, and I love Kayla because she just puts up with my nonsense anytime I have an idea. I'm like, let's implement it literally in an hour. And she's like, okay, give me 1 hour to get it done. And so she gets it done in an hour, and then everything's great. And then we full send it. And then we see the results of things happening so fucking quickly. And this is what I love about, building a brand, building a personal brand, building a movement and a message. Because when you build movements make you money. Movements are the money makers. It is what it is. Like, the thing is that this is movements take you out of the league of what everybody else is doing and puts you in a league of your own. And so when we have movements, when we create movements, we're really creating sustainability and scalability within our business. And what I love about this is that the other day, we had decided that we were going to, last minute, we're like, oh, we're taking another trip this year. Yay. I've pretty much traveled every single month of this year. It's banana cakes. So I literally should just I'm like VIP fast pass at the airport, which I do. I have that, all the good stuff. So we're taking another trip. It was last minute. We decided that we're going to tattoo. We're, as in me, myself, and my 19 personalities. I'm going to tattoo. And so we were like, fuck it. Like, let's just go ahead and full send it. And in my mind, I was like, what I love about how I've built this movement is that literally we didn't even have to send an email out to my emailing list to fill the spots. We just had to send one email out to someone we know who's a diehard loyal fan of mine, who comes and gets tattooed by me, who flies out from Texas in order to get tattooed by me 2 to 3 times a year, get huge pieces, and pays me thousands of dollars just to do it. And so we were like, well, we could give her a reprieve and just offer her this and see if she'll buy it. If she wants it, she can have it. And all this kind of good stuff. Of course, she was like a full body yes, full sent on a deposit, made like $1,000 in 5 minutes, and with a 5-minute email. Sent out the email, asked her, yep, 5 minutes later, $1,000 in my bank account. And I was like, I literally made $1,000 in 5 minutes. Like, that's a vibe. And then I thought about it, and I was like, wow, we also, in the past week, even through, if you listen to my last podcast episode about me getting slandered, hate campaigns and things like this against me, during that time while people are literally trying to be so cruel about what it is that I do, I even had someone, come say a comment on on the post that went viral. And she said, and she actually went into BTS and she was like, you charge people $6,000 to learn this from you, LOL. And I laughed because in response to that, in my mind, I didn't respond back because it's just not in my nature, and nor do I care. And we can go into that in another episode about what I do with like hater comments and how I handle that. But in my mind, I responded, actually I charged them $6,300 to learn exactly what I do, because someone that can come back from doing what they had done in the past, in like 8 years ago, someone that can do something like that and come back from that and actually make it their greatest purpose and actually utilize that to create momentum in their business and go from just making high 5 figures, making just over 6 figures in the tattoo business, to making $250,000 in tattooing and, $1 million tattoo business when it came to building a movement, a mission, a brand identity, a whole thing, because now I can sell whatever I want because of this movement, this message, this mission. So then it came to my mind where I was like, wow, well, what's so funny is that on the same day that that woman said something, I got a painful $6,000 for a new member in BTS, which is so exciting. And Seth was actually the person that actually ended up coming in. And I was just like, Seth, thank you for being the evidence created that being polarizing on the internet actually is what calls in your diehard soulmate clients. Because Seth is like, I've only known him for a few days, but just getting to know his business and what he's doing is just fucking incredible. And I feel so fucking honored to have him in my space. And so it was just like, wow, here's the evidence of that. And so literally within 5 days, so 5 minutes, I made $1,000 in a deposit by sending out one email, no posts, no nothing, filled up a space, travel space where I rarely go to Texas, just to go fill it up. Now, this is not something new to me. I've gone to Belgium. I've gone to France. I've gone to Italy. I've gone to London. I've gone to the Philippines. I've gone to China. I've gone all over the world. And I've had this very same thing happen for me because of the movement and the brand and the business that I have built. And yes, can I say that yes, at one time I was on TV? I can say that, and absolutely that could potentially have something to do with it. But most of the time when I ask people how they found me out, it's never because they saw me once upon a time in 2014. So let's just get that out of our head, that has to be the thing. You don't need to be famous. You don't need to be on television. You don't even need a large following to create a movement, to create a brand message or mission. When you've created these things, you don't, like I said, you don't need a big following or to be famous or to be on TV or any of these things in order for you to create something impactful, right? You can have the freedom to travel all over the world. You can decide if you want to work there. You can book the appointments. You can make the passive income. You can, send one email or a couple of DMs, because as spiritual CEOs who treats their tattoo business like a business and not a hobby, you make your mental and spiritual health a priority while refining the strategies and structures that creates a business that leads to even more freedom. That's what building a movement is all about. Because when you build a movement where most people think that you're in a cult, where your community bandwagons on the same values that you embody, and you lead them through results-driven, purpose-fueled transformations that have in coming back for more, when they're basically saying, whatever you're selling, I'm buying, because they're already bought into you. You guys, oh my God. Okay, so yeah, sorry to stop this podcast episode. I just needed to let you guys know that Worthy Wealthy Creative, the retreat, we are going to motherfucking Mexico. This retreat has literally been my inner child dream, to be hanging out with the goddesses of the tattoo world, of the spiritual entrepreneur world. So if you are ready to collapse months of coaching into an epic week, we're talking a mansion, we're talking a private chef, branding, photo shoots, healing circles, basically everything you need to recharge and get in the millionaire mindset. I fucking double dog dare you to dream bigger and join us in building your tattoo fucking empire. Let's go. It's in the show notes. Sign up. We only have a few slots left. That's what building a movement is all about. When it comes to all of these things that, me being able to be booked out anywhere I go, when it comes to traveling, it's because of my message. It's because of my willingness and my bravery to become polarizing. It's because of the fact that I hold conviction in the thing that I believe in, the things that I'm saying in my message, and I continuously share it in different ways to diversify the methods of collapsing time around people getting to know me, is the reason why that consistency in my messaging versus consistency in posting is such a different fucking vibe. And it will always, every single time, be the more potent thing that collapses the distance between where you are and where it is that you want to go. When you decide to be consistent in the message that you are speaking into. It's never about how consistent you are in posting. Posting consistently doesn't make you money, right? Posting consistently doesn't do anything for your business. When you're posting just to post, that's when you're like, I'm in my starving artist mentality era. But when we're posting to get paid, to create impact, to create freedom, to create more wealth in our business, in our lives, to lead from this place of holistic conviction, and purpose in our business, that's when content becomes so much more than just content. That's when your content becomes a mission. It becomes this symbol behind what it is that you're creating, what it is you're saying. People are just like, what the fuck? I am so bought in to whatever it is that you're selling because of the way that you show up in it, the way that you are willing to continue to share and share and share every single time, even though it can be scary, can be vulnerable. I'm willing to lead and willing to be seen while I lead through my own transformations as well. That's what true, leadership is. And that's what really creating a movement is all about, because it's not about being perfect or posting the perfect thing. It's actually about being really honest. What's so funny is I even said it, I think last week, that there's a war on honest people. People do not want you celebrating your honesty. People do not want you celebrating your self-expression because it makes them realize how unexpressed they are in parts of themselves. And instead of taking responsibility for that, they blame it on others. So movements is a brave act. Creating a brand is a brave act. It's also a really beneficial and smart, lucrative move in your business. So if it has to go from either angle, where whatever talks you into the fucking thing, brands are beautiful for your healing because it helps you get to know who the fuck you are, especially when you're becoming a spiritual CEO. You are making your spiritual and mental health a priority. And when you do that, you get to know yourself even better. And that's the only way you can actually create a movement that people believe in, because you are convicted in it, because you embody it, because it is your values. Brands are based off your values. Your mission is based off your values. Your movement is based off your values. The message, the mission, the movement, it's all based on you, who you are. This is building a personal brand. The reason why people are so afraid of it and want to move away from it is because of the fact that it's personal. It is. It's very personal. And it's vulnerable. And it's scary to be transparent like that. So yeah, it's not for the faint of fucking heart. It's for the people that are willing to move toward something that they truly believe in. And that's the reason why not every single person on this planet is a motherfucking millionaire. It's just because those types of people that are willing to put skin in the game, willing to bet on themselves, willing to bet that they can walk themselves through hard things with ease, to show up and to share that message out there with the world, and knowing that they are absolutely fuel for fodder for other people to have an opinion about. Yeah, I wouldn't want to build a personal brand either. If, had I been in a position where I wanted to still be in my starving artist era. But for most of us here, I know that that's not the case. For most of us here, we're willing to take those brave moves. And so that's like really where it's all at. Right? So at the end of the day, when you're building your movement, like, movements are the money makers. So what is a movement? Truly a movement is like, I'm taking you from this to this. So where are you taking your people? That's really truly the question that you're asking yourself. Where are you taking them? Where are you taking them from what to what? And so funny, because when we think about it, every time I talk about this kind of story, it's like the message from shame to power, from insecure to unapologetic, unfuckwithable self-expression. From spiritual mental health will lead to your wealth and success in business. These messages that I have really all come down to a certain identity that I have for my people. And I talk a lot about this in my Scale program for the artists who desire to have passive income streams through education. Scale opens up in December, by the way, everybody, just in case you're wondering. However, when it comes to like building this identity, I always want you to think about it, that the identity that you're building for your people doesn't ever neglect your tattoo client, your tattoo collector. So my identity for my people is the spiritual CEO, right? It's like going from the starving artist mentality to the spiritual CEO. That's the identity shift. That's the movement. We are the spiritual, embodied, relaxed CEOs of our fucking businesses. That's what we are. We left the starving artist mentality of the push, the shove, posting just to post, chasing, forcing energy, and leaving that for wealthy from the inside out, rich before we're wealthy, $1 million identity, spiritual, embodied, relaxed CEO. And so this is the identity I'm taking on. That's the movement. These are my people. This is the name of my movement, the spiritual CEO. You guys, oh my God, I'm so excited to announce that Beyond the Stars is opening for enrollment. It's like, we're here, we're doing it. My year-long, hands-on mentorship experience that takes you towards your multiple six-figure year and fucking beyond. This is where we're building that iconic brand, making those content and launch strategies, leveraging social media to make you money, building diehard communities and soulmate clients, that bandwagon on your soul's purpose. Like, what the fuck? Let's fucking get into it. This is that millionaire mindset we're stepping into. So if you really want to elevate your brand, elevate your business, expand your wealth, let's go. You can click that link. It's in the show notes. Because a lot of us artists, we never treat our businesses like businesses. We want to just play and fuck around and see what happens. And we never even get taught how to do business or do marketing or anything like that. And I never want to take the play out of the business, because the play is the most important part. It's what got us here. It's so fucking important in our business. However, there can be ways that we can still be the CEO, but the embodied CEO understands that play is just as important as structure and strategy. We have to have fun doing the things that we're doing, or we don't want to do them. That's how we roll. We're artists. We're rebels. We're fucking especially tattooers, we're fucking rebels against the fucking mainstream corporate America kind of vibes. That's the reason why so many artists don't want to become the CEO of their business, quote unquote. But the thing is that the moment that you do, the more fun you actually get to have, which is the kind of paradoxical thing that happens when you decide to take on the identity, the movement, begin in the movement of this identity. So whatever identity it is that you have, you just need to get it to that point. It's like, where are you taking your clients to? Now, if you're a tattoo artist, and right now you're not currently, doing any programs or nothing like that, you're not into education, where are you taking your tattoo clients to? For me, it's still the same thing. I'm taking them from insecure to unapologetically expressed. And that's how most of us are doing it. But what, in your words, where are you taking them? From shame to power. From spiritual, mental health, and vitality, leading to their wealth and success. Now, it might not be wealth and success in the material world, but it definitely is wealth and success in the identity world, in the internal world, which is actually way more important to me, in my mind, that I get you from there, in that point of view, is because it's the only way that you're actually going to see success and wealth in the outer world, in the material world. So actually, my message doesn't neglect my tattoo client. Actually, it's the biggest reason me speaking to the tattoo artist, or the tattoo artist that desires to be a coach and mentor, whatever it might be, although it might not fit into the tattoo client identity, they match to that because they love the fucking message. They're like, yeah, unapologetically expressed, I want that. Yeah, shame into power, I want that. I don't care how I get it, I just want it. I want to be in your energy, Reese, because that's what I know I'm going to get when I'm in there. And a lot of my clients have said to me, a tattoo has been the best thing I've ever done for my business. And I loved that. I had this happen to me when I was doing a stoicism tattoo with Marcus Aurelius, and just talking about memento mori, really just remembering your mortality. We were having this conversation, and I love deep thinkers. Of course, I'm going to have deep conversations. I'm a deep thinker. I attract deep thinkers. And of course, I attract entrepreneurs and people that are just wanting to do their own thing, whether it be entrepreneurs, corporate moms, whatever it might be. We all have similar tastes in the way we look at life and the way that we think. And it's because I'm so loud about it to the tattoo artist and to the tattoo artist mentor, or the entrepreneur who decides to be a mentor or coach. I could speak to my highest level client when it comes to the coaching side of my business and still never neglect my tattoo client, or the tattoo collector. So the people that come into my space and they're like, wow, getting a tattoo was the best thing that ever happened to my business, is because I speak onto the spiritual CEO so much. And they're coming in and literally getting one-on-one sessions about business and about life, about branding. I talk about all this stuff to all these people. And it's basically they're getting that included with a tattoo that gets to stamp it in that moment. And so it's such an interesting thing because now my clients are evolving. They're turning into entrepreneurs. They're the CEOs. They're the badasses. They're the ones that do like body lifting, bikini modeling, like these kinds of things that really test your mettle, the things that push you, the things that like really you need an identity. You need a certain identity. You need to take on a certain identity to do the thing that this person is doing. It's like being a triathlete. It's like being a mom of 6 kids, homeschooling, plus doing, bikini modeling and bodybuilding on the side of that. Like there's a certain type of person that you need to become in order for you to actually succeed at these things and not look at it and say, oh, that's way too much. I don't know how you do it all. La, 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 la. They're like, well, I do. I just do it. That's the kind of person I get in my spaces. This is the person I'm actually calling in, which is so funny because it doesn't neglect the tattoo client. So when we have a brand identity, we've created a movement. So now I have the spiritual embodied CEO as the identity of my movement. These are my people. You are in this space listening to this. You are a spiritual CEO. Whether or not you claim it, doesn't matter to me. But the moment you step into my space, any paid things or even free things, you are a spiritual CEO in my mind. You have up-leveled from the starving artist mentality because you've decided that for some reason you were done with that identity and you wanted a different identity. You wanted a more fulfilling identity. And that identity happens to be the spiritual embodied CEO of a tattoo business, of a creative business, of an artistic business. That's what you are. That's who you desire to be. And now that desire, that movement now I've created doesn't neglect anybody because I'm speaking to that highest level person. And when I speak into that highest level person, which is something we call like the diamond theory, which is something I teach in BTS, Beyond the Stars, which we are still open for. Just letting you know, we're going to be closing its doors pretty soon here. I think we only have 4 slots left for anybody that wants the free one-on-ones, which is a $900 value. Shameless plug in there. So with that being said, it's like when we have the diamond theory, what we're doing is basically saying, here is the characteristics, here is the person that I am calling in. I'm only going to speak to this one person. I'm going to speak to them through my creatives. I'm going to speak to them through my messaging, through my captions. And when I say creatives, I mean the visuals that you put up on your Instagram, whatever else. And I'm going to continuously speak into this message that this movement, so the identity, this spiritual embodied CEO, I'm speaking only to this person, this characteristic of this person, speaking into that, talking about that in a myriad of ways, putting my authority, my empowerment, and also my activating style of content that we revolve into. Another thing I also teach in BTS. We put that into that. We get people seeing themselves, putting themselves in that identity, seeing themselves in the stories that we create, because stories are everything. I'm also having a free masterclass if you want in on that. Weaving the golden thread. It's like weaving stories to leverage sales. So if you want that, it's in the show notes. Everything is in the show notes, my friends. So when we're doing that, it's like, oh my gosh, this person just identifies with this characteristic. It doesn't mean that they have to identify with what I'm selling, because the coaching, the tattooing, the programs, the one-on-ones, the merch, it's all just product. People don't buy products. People buy feelings. They buy an emotion. They're buying a transformation, and however I give them that transformation, whether it be through a tattoo or through a educational program or through a one-on-one, it doesn't matter. At that point, now I'm like, okay, they're so bought into the identity of and the characteristics of the identity of who I'm speaking into. This is a reason why we get you got to get really clear with this, because movements are the moneymakers. Because now that you've created this movement, now that I've created this movement, of course I'm able to just do one email and I can get booked out in France, even though I never go there anymore anyway. Or I can send one email to one person knowing that they're probably going to bite, just because they always come out and they're always willing to fly out from Dallas, drive an hour and a half or 2 hours or so just to get to the airport from their home to fly over to a 3-hour flight over to San Diego, stay the night for 4 nights just so that they can stay with me for 2 days and get tattooed by me for 6 to 7 hours per day. That doesn't happen because I just so happen to be the best tattooer in the world. That's not even fucking close. Not even close. No. I mean, I'm pretty sure the place I'm going to in Dallas, gonna have plenty of tattooers there that I would actually do way better than me. And this person has gotten tattooed by me in Utah, has gotten tattooed by me at tattoo conventions, has come to my shop, and has even invited me to their house so that I could tattoo them there. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is diehard loyalty. And you don't get that without having a message and a movement that someone bandwagons on. Yes, of course, once they're in, they're in. But to get them in, that's the vibe. Like, to get them in. To be like, oh yeah, because 70% of the people that you have already in your spaces that have already gotten tattooed by you or bought something from you, they're more likely the easiest way to do a resale, to have them come back. They're the loyal ones because they've already been in your energy. But if you do not know how to express your energy in the online space in a strategic, self-expressed, authentic way, it doesn't come across. And you wonder why you don't have clients, or you don't have as many clients as you'd like, or you're not booked out as far as you'd like to be, or that when you travel, or the desire to travel, but you're scared because you're afraid you might not be able to book those times out. And so this is where you get to shift that, because the moment you build a movement, you become a league of your own. The moment you build a movement, you no longer have competition because you become the niche versus your tattoos are the niche. And so now that you've built this movement, it's like for me, all of a sudden I've built this movement. And so in 5 minutes, I make $1,000 in a deposit. In 5 days, I made $30,000 in sales with the same identity, brand identity of the spiritual embodied CEO. And the same message of those 3 things: shame into power, insecurities into unapologetic self-expression, and the third one, spiritual and mental health, will lead to your wealth and success. With those 3 messages, those are like my tried and true messages that I love to revolve around. They all have similarities to them in some way. And moving from the starving artist mentality to the CEO, I speak into that always. And of course, in 5 minutes, I can make $1,000, and in 5 days, I can make $30,000 using that same message, talking to totally different demographics. This is what building a movement is all about. And it's not rocket science. It's not actually hard. The strategies and structure, not hard. How to market online, not hard. How to create email sequences, automate certain things, get back to people in DMs, not fucking hard. How to tattoo, get better at your tattoos, invest in yourself and do tattoo seminars, not fucking hard. The spiritual and mental health, that's a different story. And the thing is that fortunately and unfortunately, I suppose for some might say unfortunately, but fortunately for me, it's the only way. It's the only way through. It is the only fucking way. You cannot tell me otherwise. The things that I have learned from 8, 9 figure earners, it's always the way. Spiritual and mental health, that is your through line. If you want to build a movement, a micro movement, it doesn't even have to be in big impact. You can have a small following, but you want those diehard loyal motherfuckers that are in there all the time. When you post one fucking thing, they're like, yes, I'm in, and they're already full. You send one email out and everybody's already biting at the bit just to be in your energy. Spiritual and mental health is your only way through it, because you cannot express yourself in the way that you desire to be heard and seen, and for people to actually see you fully, the people that are meant to see you fully, has to be because you have made the priority, the relationship to you, a priority. And when you make the relationship to you a priority, you actually show up in your unfuckwithable, authentic self-expression. When you make your spiritual, mental health, and vitality a priority, all of a sudden your identity shifts. You actually become wealthy before you are rich. You are successful in this moment. You are worthy right now. And when that happens, you move differently. And when you move differently, people are inspired by the movements you make, and then you've created impact. That's why movements are the money makers. So I hope that gives you a little insight on where I'm sure you're planning on going and what you are building. And I hope you continue to build that. And I love you guys so much. It is so hot in this room. I'm actually juicing right now. I'm doing juice cleanse because I just got inspired by my girl, Kat Rowe, who is an incredible artist, but also a wellness coach, a gut health wellness coach. Gut health goddess is what I'd like to call her. And she inspired me with this juice cleanse, and I decided I wanted to do a 3-day juice cleanse. Not quite a 40-day, but a 3-day juice cleanse because of her movement that she is creating. And I really am inspired by it. So I'm going to go off and drink my juices, get out of this hot room. I'll see you guys in the next episode.